You know that feeling when you're working outside your usual setup, and suddenly you need to print something? Not scan it. Not email it. Not, maybe I'll do it later. You need a physical copy. Right now. And that's exactly the problem this thing is trying to solve. This is the Canon PIXMA TR160 wireless portable printer. At first glance, it almost doesn't make sense anymore. In a world where everything has gone digital, cloud-based, and wireless, a portable printer feels like one of those products that shouldn't need to exist. And yet, here we are. Because the moment you actually step into real-world use cases, contracts, invoices, forms, travel documents, printing still matters more than we like to admit. So the question isn't why does this exist? It's does this actually work well enough to justify carrying it around? Let's start with the design. This is not your typical bulky home printer that dominates a desk and quietly becomes permanent furniture. It's slim, compact, and clearly designed to disappear into a backpack or laptop bag. Canon is leaning heavily into portability here, and you feel it immediately the moment you pick it up. It's light enough that you don't think twice about carrying it, which is already a big deal for a printer. But the trade-off is obvious. This is not built for speed or high-volume printing. This is built for convenience. On the front, you get a small 1.44-inch display. And honestly, it's basic, but functional. You're not navigating complex menus here. It's more about quick status checks, Wi-Fi setup, and simple controls. It does the job, but you're not going to be impressed by it, and you're not supposed to be. Setup is surprisingly straightforward. Wireless pairing is smooth, and once it's connected, printing from a phone or laptop feels almost effortless. This is where the TR160 starts to feel modern. You're not dealing with tangled cables or complicated drivers in most cases. It behaves the way a portable device should behave in 2026. Now let's talk about print quality, because this is where portable printers usually fall apart, and the TR160 actually holds up better than expected. Text documents come out sharp and readable, and basic graphics look clean enough for professional use. It's not photo studio quality, and it's not trying to be, but for contracts, reports, schoolwork, or travel documents, it gets the job done without making you feel like you downgraded. Speed, however, is where reality sets in. This is not fast. If you're used to office printers that churn out pages instantly, this will feel more deliberate. Each page takes its time, and if you're printing multiple documents, patience becomes part of the experience. But again, that's the compromise for portability. Battery life is another interesting angle. You're not tethered to a wall, which is the whole point, but you do need to manage it like a portable device. Think of it more like a laptop accessory than a traditional printer. It's designed for bursts of usage rather than long continuous sessions. And that brings us to the bigger question. Who is this actually for? Because this is not a household printer replacement. If you're printing every day, this won't replace your main setup. But if your work moves, if you're constantly switching locations, meeting clients, traveling, or working remotely in different environments, this starts to make a lot more sense. It's for the person who has been in that exact situation where a digital file isn't enough, and printing becomes urgent. Now, the interesting part is that once you get used to having something like this available, it changes how you think about workflows. You stop worrying about, where can I print this later, and start just handling it immediately. That mental shift is probably the most valuable feature here. Still, there are limits. Paper capacity is small. Speed is modest. And if you're expecting heavy-duty printing, this will frustrate you quickly. It's a specialized tool, not a universal one. But within its category, it actually makes a strong case for itself. Because it doesn't try to be everything. It tries to be one thing, a printer you can take anywhere that actually works. And surprisingly, it succeeds more often than you'd expect. So if you've ever found yourself needing a printer outside of a traditional office setup, this might be one of those rare devices that quietly solves a very real problem, even if you don't realize how often you had that problem until now. And that's the Canon PIXMA TR160. Not flashy, not revolutionary, but genuinely useful in a way that sneaks up on you.